Hey, if you're exhausted with all the yelling, the backtalk, the power struggles, and you've already tried everything, rewards, consequences, takeaways, timeout, maybe even therapy and medication, and nothing works to create peace in your home, I totally get it. And it wasn't that long ago I was in the exact same shoes as you are right now. But what if I told you that defiant child behavior, oppositional defiant disorder, IED, ADHD, PDA, was not a character flaw or a medical issue? It's a signal that something's off the mark. It's a sign that something's missing. And today I'm going to share with you 7 surprising ways to turn that defiance into cooperation without bribing, without yelling, and without losing your mind.
Everything in the house is just turned upside down. Asking the kids to do anything was like pulling teeth. Our middle child, from the age of 2, he was labeled, not so much labeled, but like people talked around it, like, oh, maybe he has sensory processing disorder, maybe he has ADHD, maybe he has oppositional defiant. There was always like talk around it. There was no specific diagnosis, but from 2 he was in occupational therapy, and he was in a preschool. And I remember being called in, and I was sitting down, and they're like, yeah, this is a problem. He is a problem. When you have authority people who are in charge of your children saying these things to you, oh, yeah, of course I'm going to be more vulnerable to it. I guess the kids are way more responsive than the adults are. We haven't had much pushback in terms of what we've implemented so far. It's pretty awesome.
I'm Bonnie Liotta, and several years ago, I was the struggling mom lying on the floor in my bathroom in fetal position, crying, praying to God for an answer because my kids had taken over my home. My 4 children were between the ages of 6 and 12 and being diagnosed with all sorts of mental health issues. The most severe case of oppositional defiant disorder, ADHD, anxiety, depression, and worse than all of that, they just couldn't stand the ground that I walked on, and my heart was literally broken. There was nothing I cared more about in this world than being a good mom and raising children who knew how loved they were, who knew how special they were, who grew up confident, loving, and kind. And that surely wasn't happening with 21st century parenting. In fact, every day felt like a battlefield. But everything changed when I learned how to lead my children, not control them. In fact, yesterday I did a video called The 5 Things Every Parent Must Stop Doing Right Now, and you can find that by clicking up right over here. And today I'm going to share with you 7 surprising ways to start leading your children to see an improvement in their behavior right away. Number 1, don't take the things that your children say or do personally. It's not about you. It's about missing life skills. Changing this mindset and perception will make a total difference right from the beginning. So I want you to think about this. What are some things that you're asking your kids to do that you have not taken the time to literally role play out with them and show them step by step how to do the task to your standards? And understanding that there are only 2 reasons that your children don't engage in what you're asking them to do. Number 1, they either don't know how, which we just talked about, or they don't want to, in which that case, they're receiving way too much for free, and they need to have an internal desire for a goal that they can work towards to engage them in the learning of the life skill. Before I get into tip number 2, do you have any questions or comments about tip number 1? You can go ahead and share them in the comments below, and I'll make a video specifically for you. All right, number 2 out of 7 surprising things to turn defiance into cooperation is to place discipline with direction. Instead of punishing them for doing things that you don't want them to do, focus more on what you do want them to do. As an example, no, you can't go play with your friends because you didn't clean your bedroom. You could simply say, as soon as your bedroom's clean, like we role played and practiced the other day, you can then go play with your friend. You'll be absolutely amazed at how fast the power struggle dissipates or doesn't even show up in the first place. Number 3, role play your expectations and include the good, the bad, and the ugly. For instance, hey, you have earned an hour of video game time. This is exactly what it looks like if you want to choose to give away your video game time tomorrow, and then act out the scenario where they have a meltdown, throw something, hit somebody, something that you're working on, focused on the missing life skill versus focusing on punishment by taking the game away. And then role play with them exactly what it would look like if they wanted to have the opportunity to earn more video game time tomorrow. When the timer goes off like this, you say, "Hey mom, I'm done." You pass me the controller and you move on with your day. Practicing scenarios before they happen, like what do you want them to do when you take them to the grocery store, a restaurant, or when it's time to do their homework? When your children knows what success looks like, they're way more apt to take the action that you're wanting to see more of. And the number 4 way to turn defiant behavior into cooperation is to work with your child to create a parent-approved plan following steps 1, 2, and 3. Hey, we're going to go for a car ride for a whole hour. What are a few things that you guys can do while we're on the road that would create peace and harmony for all of us, that would earn you the most amount of whatever's important to them when you get to your final destination? They might say, read a book, color, play a game like I Spy with My Little Eye. When you include your children in the proactive plans and they know exactly what the expectations are, your ride or whatever it is that you're doing is going to be way more happy and peaceful, and no nagging required. Number 5, ask great questions versus dictating. So instead of put your coat away, you can ask, hey, little Timmy, where's the best place for your coat? Now, of course, this is going to work best if you've already role played with them where the best place is for their coat, if they're choosing to play with their friend, have some video game time, or watch a movie with the family later on in the evening. What we're doing here is we're releasing all of these reactive parenting tactics, and we are taking on a leadership role here with proactive parenting plans and strategies that actually work. If you've already role played and practiced your morning routine, for instance, you can simply ask your kids, hey, how many minutes before I need to be ready and at the door with my shoes on so we can be to school on time? That'll give them a sense of autonomy and purpose and make them feel super important. Number 6 is catch them doing something great. Now, I remember when I was first learning this back in 2011, and Thomas told me that, I went all day and I'm like, I had a really hard time finding them do something great today. And then I learned what that actually meant. For instance, if you've asked them to clean their room and they said, hey, mom, I cleaned my room already, and you walk in there, maybe the pillows are picked up off the floor. Perhaps there's 3 toys that are put on top of the dresser correctly. Praise them for what they did do and then encourage them to finish the task at hand. You can also say, great job putting those 3 toys on top of your dresser, little Timmy. I see the effort that you made, and you earned 10 minutes to play on your video game today. What do you think they're going to respond with? Well, you're right. They're going to start whining, wanting more time on the video game or wanting to watch all of the movie. And in that case, you can be a great leader and you can simply tell them, when the floor is all clean, like we role played and practiced the other day, you can open up more of your video game time or whatever goal it is that they're looking to achieve. Finally, number 7 is know your role as a parent. Take on a leadership role and give up any kind of control. Your kids are going to thank you for it. Now, what does this mean? It means that every single time your child does something that you don't like, and of course they're going to because they're children, remember? They're missing life skills. Our children weren't born like spiders with web making 101, already knowing how the world works, going around pushing your buttons trying to be defiant. They're counting on you to not just buy them things and provide them things and do everything for them. No, they want to be included in the master plan. So as you're watching your kids take action, go ahead and make a list of all of the things that they do that drive you a little bit crazy. Leaving the socks on the floor, screaming during a video game, hitting their little sister. Everything that you make on your list are missing life skills that your children need to practice through practical application. And it's really easy to do that when you set up simulations like role play. Practice the good, the bad, the ugly. Practice what does hitting the sister actually earn them. Time alone in their room? Are you with me on this? Because if you don't take the time to show them what they're actually choosing for their life with the universal truth called cause and effect, with the good, the bad, and the ugly, they're just like a balloon that you blow up and let go and it just goes all over the place. It's called unharnessed energy. And your role as a parent is to lead and guide them to their champion selves, to their adult selves. They're counting on you to show them and practice with them every single thing that they need to know, be, and do before they leave you and go out and live their lives in the world. This whole idea that we must control their every move, grab them by the arm, tell them, I won't let you do that, as we lecture to them why they can't have the things important to them, which they don't ever understand, because they can't understand until they've had the life experience. It's just going to go right over their head. And you're going to talk till you're blue in the face, thinking that talking things through is teaching your child what to do. And that's just a huge myth in parenting that's really taking your power away, and it's harming your children. Through working with hundreds and hundreds of children, we see that defiance is more often than not just a sign that the child is missing life skills, a sign that they are lacking confidence, that they're lacking autonomy, that they want to be seen by you. They want to be you and do the things that you're doing. They're just too little yet to know the appropriate when and where, and they're counting on you to show them those things. And you, yes, you are the only one in the whole world who loves them enough to do what's necessary to help them so that they don't grow up their entire lives believing that there's something wrong with them, believing that they have some sort of disorder, believing that they can never learn something called self-control. You're totally right. The way that we've been taught to parenting with this whole authoritative parenting, gentle, kind, attached, balanced, peaceful, conscious parenting, they don't work, especially for these, I want to call them special superpower leaders of the future, children who just refuse to comply. They're putting their stake in the ground, mom, dad. They want to please you. They just need the right guidance. And this new way of parenting with creating champions for life gives them that. If this resonated with you in any way, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel to be notified every time we go live or we post a new video so you can learn and engage, and share it with another mom who really needs to hear it. Thomas and I do a live question and answer every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. right here on our YouTube channel. And in the description below, you can find a link to join our VIP list so we can send you an email with a new link every single week. You can literally show up, ask your questions, and we'll do our best to talk these things through with you. Now, I mentioned earlier that yesterday I did a video on 5 things that every parent must stop doing right now, and you can just click over there to watch it. I'm Bonnie Liotta. I was put on this planet to help you live in more peace, joy, happiness, and love with your little genius offspring. And until we meet again, here's to your parenting success.